Good morning, friends. It's a it's a wild ride, isn't it? Doesn't it just feel like a wild ride? And isn't it more fun for some of us to think of it as a wild ride as to maybe think of it as the eve of destruction? um, you know, it's probably the cat's coming over, of course, because I'm making a video. I'm talking, and the cat always thinks like, "Oh, he's talking. He's talking to me," but I'm not. So don't start disturbing things. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Go on, go on, go on, go on. Just got fed. You should be behaving. You got fed. Okay. So let's just state out loud. I connect to my deep self. Go ahead. I'm just going to bring you into my world. That I have to leave the phone on because I'm going to be contacted by the plumber, who is also one of my dearest friends. It also happens to be a plumber. And he's not one of my dearest friends because he's a plumber, but I probably met him because I was talking about the need of a plumber and then just ended up just being one of my best friends. It's just I'm very excited about the day, and over the next however many minutes, you're going to kind of go on that journey with me if you don't just click and move on to something more interesting. Because there could be a lot of things more interesting. And I'm not going to necessarily bring in any news of the world, even though people have made the decision to offer that news to me. And I was like, boo, boo. I'm like, you know what? If I wanted that experience, I would tune into the news. But when someone tunes me into the news and someone I care about and want to remain in a relationship with, I just take that kind of little energy blast from the world, the 3D matrix that some of us are attempting to come out of while remaining aware of, but realizing it's a trauma matrix that we're moving outside of so we can assist those that are inside to let go of being inside the jail, the matrix, the thought form, come out of that and come into a place of, oh, I'm a sovereign being connected with the universal one, the consciousness that we're all in this together, and everything we do impacts each other. So as we do the things we do from a place of love, simple as that, we begin just streaming that universal love through us so that everything we do is embedded with universal love. It can be an experience or it can be a construct. If it's a construct, you may say, oh yeah, love everyone, love everything. And if it's an experience, you just feel love moving through you, regardless of the circumstances or what people bring to you that you didn't think you wanted. Oh, there you go again. Hi, this is Steve. We'll just start here. It's been an interesting day already. And the one reason that it might be an interesting day already, because there was this prophet, this Mayan prophet, I don't know, 300 AD, 300 BC, BC 80, AC, ACDC, 80 BC, whatever. But there was this prophet, a Mayan prophet, and found in his tomb were 13 dates mentioned on the wall, and these were 13 days in the Mayan calendar that reference to days of magical experiences. So when you think about it, that there's 52 days of galactic activations. So there's 52 of them in a 260-day period of time. And you got to just look into it yourself if you want to know about the 260 days, which have to do with the 13 lunar tones and the 20 solar kin. So I think 20 times 13 is 260. So 260 is a complete cycle of all the lunar tones and the solar kins. 260 is a complete cycle of that. That's not the year. That's just the cycle, the 260-day cycle within the year, and it starts again. Another 260 days goes into the next year and whatever. Of those 260 days, there are 50 days which are activation portals. And I might have to leave for a moment, but I'll be right back. And for some of you, that might have been disruptive, but for others of you, you're like, whatever, I'm just listening. So what I went to do was to get the calendar, the Mayan calendar, to look on this day, and see. I wanted to just see if it was also a galactic activation portal day, which it isn't. I couldn't remember. But it is one of the 13 days in the 260-day cycle of the time engineer, the prophet and time engineer of the Mayan group, that were dates marked on his tomb, which refer to days of magic. So new energies coming in, new awarenesses coming that may be kind of old awarenesses on some level, because it's all about us returning to the consciousness that we are an aspect of the oneness. The oneness, however you want to call it. We're like mushrooms are a great metaphor, because mushrooms, they grow, but they're all that mushroom, that mycelial network that just connects everything. And then every once in a while, they think that, they might kind of spread out, so they put up a baby shoot from the mycelium that we refer to as a mushroom. And that mushroom comes up, and that mushroom has seeds, pollen, spores, whatever you want to call it, that then, poof, go out and create another mycelium bed that then just connects everything. So, you can, I can, we all can, if we want to, consider ourselves part of the original mycelium bed, and also consider ourselves part as one of the spores of creating another mycelial bed, and all of those are one. It's all one. You might as well get used to it. like you get the Mayan calendar, it's going to just talk to you about how we're all one. Even though we seem to be fussing and fighting at times amongst other ones. Or we might be fussing and fighting inside our own selves as different aspects of our own one. So, as above, so below, as inside, so outside. So, we are characters of this larger unity polarity, because it's both a unity and a polarity. It's a polarization. We can be polarized from the polarization. We can be like, no, you're the bad people, we're the good people. We can do that whole thing. Or we can come to realize that we just are us, and everybody else is us. And so we have a choice, we can love us inside and out, or we can polarize and only love this aspect of us. The rest of them are bad us, but we're the good us. It's interesting to me that the United States, somebody just made that up because they were all fighting each other. I mean, it was a civil war. I don't know if it was after the Civil War in this part of North America. There's the other part as well. But in this part of North America, there was a civil war. People were battling each other. And I don't know if it was after that they came up with the term United States. Now, know how united they've necessarily felt since that declaration of, there was also a Declaration of Independence. There was all sorts of things that have gone on in this teenage country. Because really, if you think of the length of time the other countries have been around, that this country, after the occupation of this country, the colonization of this country, declared itself to be the United States. Whether or not it seems that way to you, it's just you. It's just your perception. And if your perception is that whole thing's one, then this could very well be United States. What they're united in may not be your perception of what you wish to be united in. But if you think of it, the United States of peace, you're like, oh, I could go with that. All right. So I was talking about the 13 clear signs of Pacal Votan, who was the prophet, and I can get the exact dates. He was 603 to 683 A.D. So, 1,400 years ago. And these dates that were carved into the ancient tomb of Prophet Pacal Votan refer to auspicious occurrences during his lifetime on those dates, and his perception of reality is that when that date shows up year after year after year, those are auspicious dates for things opening, possibly having to do with affecting affecting us on possibly genetic kind of awakening activation. Anyway, there are 13 codes which you can tune into the special magic of these signs and dates and see what you can decode of their relevance, whether personal or planetary. So today's special day, the Mayan calendar, the Yellow Sunday, and also I'm going to just give a little bit of information. I know my nose, there's something, it's just like this little tiny like itchy thing, or I'm doing bewitched. This is like a bewitching thing. I don't know. Could be both. So it was just a day or two ago, and I don't even know if I made a video on it, that I received the card relative to what I was working with and the world was working with, and it was the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords symbolizes fear of ruin, R-U-I-N, loss, the loss of relationships, which has happened a lot. According to what I understand, over the last 4.5 years, a lot of relationships have been lost based on constructs people have made up and polarity they've created with other people. You're wrong, you should do this, you shouldn't do this, you did this, I can't talk to you about this, blah, blah, blah. It's just gone on the last 4.5 years. Probably for the last 13,000 years, but been really amplified in the last 4.5 years. So this fear of ruin of relationships and finances. That's the card that came up a couple days ago. And it's is the Ten of Swords, which it has to do with our mind, how we can ruin relationships and our finances by our fear and contraction, which stops the flow. So as we let go of our fear and contraction and we open up to the universal process that we're a part of, whether we like it or not, we have the space for creativity, for working with the process. So that was interesting to me. And then what was more or interesting again was the card that showed up for today, which is the Eight of Discs. So I think I go this way. I think discs are just past wands. And discs relate to the things that we possess, the things that we think of as ours. Could be, your bicycle, or it could be your bank account, or it could be people, whatever it is you think of as mine, are the discs or pentacles. It's what we perceive ourselves to own. Can't take it with you. Although I think you can take the love with you into your next life. So it's something to store up and to give away freely as well. Just keep it in circulation, keep it in cycle. Love one another so that we create and generate a more loving world just through us being more loving, as within, so without. So what I pulled today was the Eight of Discs. So we had the Ten of Swords a couple of days ago about fear of ruin, letting go of fear of ruin related to relationships and finances. And this one we got the Eight of Discs, which is prudence, wisdom, or the harvest tree, which is a symbol that represents the harvest tree that manifests as a result of utilizing prudence and wisdom. The astrological aspect represented on this card is Sun in Virgo. Virgo, the astrological sign, reminds us that harvest can be generated by attending to details or utilizing our organizational skills. Harvest follows order, does not follow chaos. And harvest follows trust. It does not follow control. I like that sentence very much. Prudence and wisdom are those qualities of not pushing to make things happen or resisting or holding back. Here the coins have exploded into flowers, and they are perfectly protected by leaves that embrace each bloom. That's the image. When you pull this card, it indicates that the next 8 weeks or the next 8 months, maybe the next 8 days, maybe the next 8 minutes, one never knows. time, and today's the day of magic. You can experience harvest as a result of utilizing prudence and wisdom, and as a result of organizing, systematizing, or attending to details. It also indicates that in the next 8 weeks or the next 8 months, there might be harvestful opportunities through Virgo people. The Eight of Discs reminds us that of that state of consciousness that is prudent and wise, of that state of consciousness that does not move to extremes or overextends itself externally, and is operating from a place of centeredness and integration, or from a place of order rather than chaos. To me, the consciousness of one, the universal consciousness, is ordered. Sometimes there's the appearance of chaos during times of change, and those times of change have to do with restricted consciousness coming into an expanded consciousness of universal order and synchronicity and coherence. So as we let go of the past, let go of the energies of our trauma, come into more of a place of expansion and connection, that we connect with this universal order, this universal oneness, is not like one person, it's one consciousness of order, of creativity, so that things can continue to be created through our connection to our oneness, the aspect of our oneness with the oneness. We're one of one. All of us, one of one. So we are number one. We're number one. We're number one. And we can all be blessed by that consciousness that we're all in this together, and that love is the answer. I mean, there's a number of them. That compassion is an answer. Love is an answer. Trust is an answer. Kindness is an answer. Empathy is an answer. You know, we're going to be more and more called on to serve others who are maybe not quite as far along in their letting go of the challenges. So the challenges present an opportunity to let go. We may be further along, others may be further along that can help us in our challenges. So it's all, we're doing this together. It's the whole mycelium consciousness, that the mycelium spreads out and supports all the other living organisms around it, so that there's a harmony and a watching out for everything within us, within our consciousness, and we are part of that consciousness. So as we attune ourselves to that consciousness, we're much more aware of what we can be doing in support of all of us ones. And we're all ones. We're all one tree, we're all one cat, we're all one human. We're all one rat. We're all one bug. It's interesting. I look forward to listening to this and see if it really represents that oneness that I'm becoming more aware of being a part of. And may as well just, who knows what I missed here, but I missed putting in the microphone thing, but we'll see. Maybe we'll hear me. Maybe we won't. All right, now let's go.